Thumbs up. Is it working, Mrs. Berry? You good?
Okay, what's that, John?
Good.
Yep.
I'm going to call regular town board meeting number 13 to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman Madigan,
Here.
Councilwoman Bainey. Here. Councilman Marston,
Here.
Councilman Degati,
Here.
and Supervisor Whitney.
Here. Tonight, our invocation is going to be given by Councilwoman Jen Bainey and the pledge led by Councilman Thomas Degati. Please rise.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We think of our fellow islanders who are still draining and cleaning out. We pray that you continue to rally neighbors to help them, help their homes to be safe in both the short term and the long term. We thank you also for your tremendous protection of us that we do not often acknowledge or appreciate nearly enough. I thank you for those in this room and the greater Grand Island community at large. I pray that you help us as leaders to do what is wise and what is right in both our small and large decisions. Thank you for the privilege to serve. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, we have a proclamation for citizen science for community resources.
Jen and Jackie, come up.
All right. Okay. Whereas in 2002, a shared diagnosis of neuromuscular disorder called fibromyalgia brought together Jennifer Pusatier and Jackie James. Brought together by this disease and a conviction that an area facility, Tonawanda Coke Corporation, was a culprit, and they took on a fight against the Goliath polluter to our environment. It had been polluting our air and water for years without any regard for the health and safety of its workers or local communities. And whereas 2 years later, they, along with a few neighbors, gathered air samples that were found to have high levels of benzene, a cancer-causing agent. From 2006 to 2007, this small group of impassioned residents used their data to persuade government officials from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and the Environmental Protection Agency to fund a year-long air quality study. Benzene levels came back at 75% higher than the EPA guidelines. The fight was on to have Tonawanda Coke fix its ways or close its doors permanently. And whereas in 2013, the Department of Justice, using the evidence of citizen science, took Tonawanda Coke to U.S. District Court. After a month-long trial, 12 jurors found Tonawanda Coke and its environmental control manager guilty of 14 criminal charges of violating environmental laws. This was only the second time in history that a company has been indicted and convicted in violations of the Clean Air Act. Tonawanda Coke was fined $12.5 million in order to fund 2 community service projects worth $12.2 million. Its managers were also ordered to install emission control equipment, after which benzene levels came down 92%. And whereas Citizen Science Community Resources was formed to focus on Tonawanda Coke Corporation and hold its leaders accountable to their obligations under federal court order, clean up the plant and fund the community outreach project to those affected. An unreported tunnel collapse in 2018 led to another federal court where Tonawanda Coke Corporation was found guilty of breaking its probation. In October of 2018, the New York State DEC denied Tonawanda Coke Corporation's Title V air permit. Finally, in the same month, when Tonawanda Coke was tired of fighting the government, elected officials and area residents, it closed its doors once and for all. And whereas on Saturday, June 5th at 5:45 a.m., the 3 stacks of the Tonawanda Coke property were demolished. Citizen Science Community Resources continues to review the cleanup with DEC, an engineering company responsible for the work. And soon after the cleanup completion and redevelopment of the site will be put into productive use with the construction of the Riverview Innovation and Technology Campus, which will be a catalyst for new technology, new jobs, and a clean waterfront. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Grand Island does hereby express its gratitude for the efforts and perseverance of Jennifer Pusatier and Jackie James to protect our communities from the dangers to our health and environment, proclaiming July 19th as Citizen Science Community Resources Day. Proclamation is signed by all the town board members, and the town seal is affixed.
Thanks, John. So proud of you. Great job.
Nice to do this again in person.
All right. That brings us to the portion of the meeting for public comments on agenda items only. If anyone has anything they would like to speak on that's on the agenda tonight, please come forward, state your name, and use the microphone in the front, other than the public hearing.
Hi, my name is Colleen Huff. I live at 1943 Webb Road, and I would like to address, I guess it's under number 2, the local law intro number 6 of 2021 of the
Other than the
rezoning.
public hearing.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we'll bring it
Other
back
than
in a
the
few minutes.
Other than the public
During
hearing, I'm sorry.
hearing on that one. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oops.
All right. For the second time, is there anyone wishing to speak on any of the agenda items? Other than the public hearing? For the third and final time? That brings us to the public hearings. First public hearing is on a special use permit application for Jason Sikoti, 1939 Grand Island Boulevard, for an automotive collision repair shop. And I will ask the clerk to read the pertinent part of the roll.
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held on July 19th to consider an application by Jason Sikoti for authorization by the town board for a permit for special use for an automotive collision repair shop in a CBD zoning district located at 1939 Grand Island Boulevard. All interested persons may attend at said time and place and be heard thereon.
Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter? For the second time, is there anyone wishing to speak on the automotive collision repair shop? For the third and final time, anyone wishing to speak on this? I'll declare the public hearing closed. We have to perform the short environmental quality review for this. The state environmental quality review, the seeker, the short form has been completed. On part 2 of the impact assessment, there are no moderate or large impacts which may occur noted. I'll entertain a motion to issue a negative declaration under seeker with respect to this project.
So moved.
Motion by Pete Marston,
Second.
second by Mike Madigan. Any discussion on that?
No.
Roll call.
Marston,
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Bainey.
Aye.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Correspondence from the planning board.
Do we need to refer that? to the
I'm
planning board?
I'm gonna read the.
Been there.
I have to, there's correspondence from the planning board with respect to this. Mr. Sikoti appeared at the July 12th planning board meeting requesting a special use permit. He stated he'll continue to use the building similar to what was previously approved. He'll add a stockade fence and the dumpster will be added to remove the parking pads in the front. This time he does not plan to build the front addition. It was moved by Duchère and Bowman to recommend a special use permit to allow the automotive collision repair shop at 1939 be approved as requested. That's for information only. I'll entertain a motion to approve the special use permit for Mr. Sikoti.
So moved.
Motion by Mike Marston. Is there
No,
a second?
Mike Madigan.
Mike Madigan.
Mike Madigan. I'm sorry. Good grief.
okay.
I
Second.
apologize. Second by Pete Marston.
Approve it subject to the recommendation.
Subject to the
Planning board.
recommendations of the planning board. correct?
Recommendations of the planning board.
Yes.
Any
You
further
okay with that, Mike?
discussion?
Yep. Okay. Sounds right.
Roll call.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Bainey.
Aye.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Second public hearing we have tonight is local law intro number 6 of 2021, the rezoning of SBL number 37.03-1-21.11, parentheses Rivertown, Grand Island Boulevard and Baseline Road, R3, R1D, and Central Business District to a planned development district. Anyone wishing to speak on this, please come forward, state your name. You don't have to state your address. Let's just keep the comments to 3 minutes or less, please.
Ms. Huff.
Colleen Huff.
Now's your shot.
Come on down.
Oh, did I ask the clerk to?
That's okay.
Oh,
You read it.
Okay.
Okay. Again, Colleen Huff. I'm here regarding the possible rezoning. Well, I'd first like to say I oppose it. But we'd like to ask the board is there's really no true definition of what the planned development district entails or allows to
Right.
happen. And this is in our backyard. And
Understood.
so we would like to ask that until we get a little bit more information.
We're going to do that.
Okay,
We discussed that during our workshop.
Yeah.
okay.
And basically, yeah, it's hard for you to have any input on something that
We
Yes,
can't
yeah,
find any
exactly.
definition.
That
of
was our
anything.
point exactly.
And-
We
and to
can't-
be
It's
clear-
not fair to the public.
It's going to stay open. So at our next meeting, it'll be
No.
open, right?
It'll still be open at the next meeting, but it won't be, we have to wait for the planning board comments, which won't be until August 9th. So we
So the
won't,
16th.
we
So it
will,
wouldn't be
we'll
active.
close the public, we'll continue the public hearing at August 16th meeting as well. And
Okay.
then
Will they, is it possible to get, where will we
Well,
find the information when they get that?
The plan will come to
now-
the planning board.
for
From the
now,
planning board?
if you want the easiest way, if you go to our website,
I did.
the YouTube page on December 2nd, I think it was of 2020, they gave a presentation. They haven't submitted, that was as close to a plan as they've submitted, but it'll give you kind of a rough idea as to what they're looking at. And once they get a plan submitted to us, we'll make sure we upload it to the website.
In
Right.
theory, it should be before the planning board in the first meeting in August. So they should be presenting there too,
yes,
which would be on
And
the
I-
internet as
we're
well.
going to get in contact with the developer and have them
We're gonna get.
provide us with it so we can put it on the website.
Okay, will they inform the neighbors of when those meetings are happening?
Well, I'll tell you how it's going to
No?
happen right now. The
Okay.
next meeting is, that's going to be anything about this is the planning board meeting,
Okay,
which is August 9th at what time, Pete? 7:00 PM in the town hall conference room.
No, here,
Here.
in this
courtroom.
room.
Okay,
okay.
You
So
can
you can
attend in
attend.
person
But
or watch
where-
online.
But I guess my question is, you guys as a town should have what that zoning means, and there's no definition of what the rules are.
basically, it's an allowable mixed use zoning.
But do they
which-
have
which
to
is not
follow,
Supposed to be, there is under our, the code is online. You could
it
look
doesn't
at
give any definition of any of the
It
rules
doesn't.
or
I
anything?
PDDs are different animals.
It's,
Okay.
it'll be a process where they have to submit a concept plan and eventually it is a detailed plan laying out what they want it to be. And it's all, we had this, I brought this issue up during the workshop because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to look at the quote unquote rezoning without information about that. So
Correct.
we're gonna, like John said, he's gonna reach out to the developer and push them to get that concept plan so that everybody has a general idea of what they're hoping to. But keep in mind that that concept plan, even if that's approved, is subject to change throughout what'll be a process as they work from the initial design towards the final detailed design.
So your decision to possibly rezone is based on their design, not on the fact that a PDD could just give them free reign in a neighborhood area?
It doesn't matter once, right, Peter? Even if we
Yeah, no, it
approve
does not
the-
give them free reign.
We would
No,
still
it
have
does
to
not.
approve the final.
We still have to approve the
detailed design.
plans.
The specific PDD has to be approved. It's not,
Right,
it's not like a willy-nilly thing where we approve it and they do whatever they want later.
No.
okay,
In a
No.
plan unit, in a plan development district, all of the elements of it need to be presented part of the process.
okay. And we can still oppose it and try and keep the zoning the way it is right
Absolutely.
now.
Everything happens in public meetings, so you
Okay.
will always be able to come.
Thank you for your time.
Colleen, I'm happy to discuss more on it
Yeah.
if you want.
You
know
knew
where-
I'd be calling.
You know where to find me.
I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
No.
we, because we're online,
This way people can watch later or tomorrow.
if they
or
can't see
whatever.
it, you know,
Right.
that way.
Tim Mullins, just wanted to add, second that, but the letter we received, I know legally it has to be written this way. But can you someone put together some clarity documents? What does this really mean? Of the 5 parcels or so that are gonna be joined, that are crisscrossing diagonal, is there a map that shows it? So people that don't speak or understand legalese can easily understand what properties are even included.
Okay,
Thank you.
it's a good point. Thank you.
Hello, Paul Solonic, and I'm gonna state my property for some clarity. I'm 2005 Baseline Road. So I'm across from St. Stephen's Playground.
Correct.
So the plans, so when we purchased our property 30 years ago, that vacant land was residential homes. So we were fine with that. over the 30 years, it's flip-flopped from every different kind of zoning. So the current plan I saw is putting 3-story buildings along my property line, on the side, in the back of my property line. So we have an in-ground pool with a nice deck. So that's gonna block some sunshine. My wife, kids, friends, how do you enjoy an in-ground pool with 3-story buildings surrounded you on 2 sides of your property? And, you know, you go to that Amazon thing, that was made for a warehouse for 37 years. So that was designed and they were asking for a variance in height. This, you know, I bought, I would take all kinds of single family homes next to me. And a developer in the early 90s, that pond was dug because he wanted to do a cul-de-sac with maybe 20 homes and the town wouldn't help with the sewer system. It's all septic. So he could only build 3. So he dug that pond and sold the fill for incredible amounts of money. And now the developer is going for brownfield, saying it's all contaminated. So I just can't have 3-story buildings surrounding half my property.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Amanda Wellens, and I just want to talk about how much that building would I've lived behind on Webb Road for 18 years now. In my entire life, I have grown up with all this beautiful wildlife right behind my house. I remember my parents and neighbors talking about a beautiful forest that was back there, but as soon as I got on this earth, it was immediately decimated and destroyed. And every year I hear about more and more of that beautiful habitat that all these animals live in being constantly destroyed. If all of those animals if all those animals have their habitat taken away from them, where will they go? It will just destroy the beautiful place that Grand Island has created. You can see the birds and all the other wildlife at Beaver Island. We have that in our own backyard. And with a new huge building, that would destroy everything. There's also, saying I lived here for 18 years, I have gone through the school systems. Even in the years before all those new apartments over there were built, I was already shoved in a classroom with at least 30 people in them. If an apartment complex or something else that has living people in it, the schools will be even packed even more. You can say, well, we can expand the schools, but I know that the neighborhoods around the schools that are already built, they will take that down immediately. So there's no room for more kids to be in an already compact and cramped school. That's all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks.
I am Mary Elizabeth Wellens, and I am against any rezoning from what it is now to this PDD. I do believe the developer, I've seen briefly some of the plans. I mean, it looks like they have a good faith to create something beautiful. I'm not feeling comfortable just rezoning all of it to PDD. We have lived in our home probably about over 25 years now. And as the gentleman back here said, it has flip-flop changed this zoning, that zoning, this zoning, that zoning. I will say what I said then, and all the times in between, I'll say that again tonight. It's just not a zoning change that would benefit the culture of a neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Claudia Spitz. I have been living on Grand Island since '85. Back in '88, we had to go through this again with the rezoning, and here we are, 2021. I am opposed to having it rezoned to a different zone for many of the reasons that my neighbors have said. So please, when you do make your decision, keep everything in mind for everyone that lives around in the area.
And works.
And works, yes. Works hard too.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name's Dominic Cafuso at 1988 Baseline, and I live across the road from that parcel. I would just hope that as this moves forward, that each and every person on this board and the zoning board would take some consideration as to what we have been going on for years, years and years and years. That piece of property, originally, we've been here just a short 40-some years, okay, in 1988. That piece of property had pipes laying on top of the ground that years ago transferred oil across the road and was used at heating on both Webb Road and this, that, and the other. It was purchased by an individual on Grand Island who said they were going to put patio homes in there and or build individual homes. So there's another issue. They attempted to reduce the size of the building lots. I don't believe that that was ever approved for patio homes. At that point, that property was not a proper footprint to put patio homes in there, but get as many as they needed. So then the owner says, well, okay, we're going to put 33 or 34 senior living apartments across the road from us. That never developed. So the previous owner strips down the property 100% of its trees. No trees. Beautiful. There was every kind of species of trees in that property you can imagine. So that was gone. Then they dug the pond. They dug the pond, has to be for clay. At that time, clay was very valuable and worth a lot of money. For a month, they dug and they dug and they dug that clay and hauled it off the island. It's an incredible deep pond. I don't know what the specs are on a pond, but it would shock you to the depth of that pond. Okay, so that fell through. Then Serene Gardens had another hearing. Serene Gardens was going to put a nursery there. It was going to take time to get the proper permits to put that nursery in there. And then before you know it, they're talking, we're at a meeting here, and they're talking about putting material bins alongside Baseline Road between their property, not too far from their property, material bins, stone, sand, whatever you want, topsoil. That fell through. Now here we go again, okay? The zoning has been changed umpteen times to a point, and supervisor, you know that we're still on septic down there. We don't even have sewer. We stand in our homes and we're looking down the road at the end of sewer lines. Now, here we go again, across the road. Is it going to lock us out of the availability of sewer again? It's something that has to be thought. They're going to bring it in from the boulevard, that locks us out. From the church down to the thruway, it locks us out once again. We're just hoping that you take all of these things into consideration, what's happened to the resources. We can't even get decent drainage in the area down there because all the culverts are blocked. They're all blocked. I just wanted you to know that we've been through an awful lot down there between Webb Road and Baseline Road in the past 12 years. You can't imagine. We're hoping that our neighborhood just kind of settles down a little bit and you do take those issues into consideration, what we have been through. And please, people do like their own septics because of cause of taxes, but it's not the way to go when you have an area that has bad drainage. We need sewer. We don't want to get locked out again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Walter Huff. I live on Webb Road. I just wanted to express my concerns over the drainage in the area. When we originally purchased our land, there was a drainage covert, not a covert, but a drainage ditch, which we had French drains drain into. That was covered over, and I've had a saggy backyard ever since. My main concern is that this construction would drain directly into the backyards of those people on Webb and cause flooding and drainage issues. I'd also like to point out as a point of concern that it seems to be an awfully high density, which would bring an enormous amount of cars coming and going at all hours of the day and night. Are you proposing a traffic light at the entrance? I don't see how either baseline can handle the traffic addition. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ryan Wellens. I won't take too long, but same as everybody else on the Webb Road side here, I'm opposing any of the rezoning, at least if that follows onto some big building, more development over there. Just like my sister, we've enjoyed late nights sitting, looking in the backyard, watching the sunset go down into that field. We don't want more traffic. We don't want more people over there. It's as simple as that. We like the nature. We like the quiet. We already have the highway, but we don't want any more. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak regarding this matter? Is there anyone online, Tom? For the third and final time, is there anyone wishing to speak? At this point, I'm going to end this portion of the public hearing. We're going to continue this public hearing through the August 16th meeting because we have to wait until we hear from the planning board before we can do any decision on this. And you can submit comments in writing too. So.
Mr. Supervisor, perhaps if these people would like to go, they can, since we're done talking about that, if they want.
That's right. Unless you want to stay for the rest of the meeting.
You want to stay for the show, you can.
I can take a short couple seconds here and let.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're not.
That way you don't have to
allowed
put any more coins in the parking meter. Okay. Item number 7 on our agenda is minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of workshop meeting number 22 from July 6, 2021, and approve the minutes of regular meeting number 12 from July 6, 2021.
So moved.
Motion by Jen Baney,
Second.
second by Tom DeGatti. Any discussion? Roll call.
Baney,
Aye.
DeGatti,
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 8 is a consent agenda. Tonight, there are 3 items on the consent agenda: building permits issued from June of 2021, meeting minutes from the zoning board of appeals from June 3rd of 2021, and minutes from the planning board meeting on June 14th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mike Madigan, second by Pete Marston. Any discussion? Roll call.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Baney,
Aye.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Communications from the town board from Supervisor John Whitney. There's item number 1 is a personnel matter. I'll entertain a motion to refer this back to the town board.
So moved.
Motion by Jen Baney,
Second.
second by Pete Marston. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Baney,
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 10 from Councilman Jen Baney, resignation of a crossing guard.
I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Shannon Stedman effective immediately from her crossing guard position. Just to note, her last shift at her shared location was completed on April 28th, and due to a change in career focus, she will not be staying on as a substitute.
Modify the motion to accept with regret and a certificate of appreciation.
Thanks, boss.
Second, discussion. Do we
Motion
need,
by Jen Baney, second by Pete Marston on the question.
do we need to advertise for replacements?
Not yet. We have a
Okay.
few things to figure out. It's one of those locations where 3 people share it. There might be interest within, so we're still kind of polling.
Fair enough. Okay.
Communications from other town officials, item number
Go ahead.
11. I'm sorry, roll call.
Haha.
Baney,
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Communications from other town officials, item number 11 from the town clerk, Patricia Anderson Frenzel, authorize referendum for fire company service awards. You want to take that or you want me to do it?
We just need the resolution that's attached.
Resolution is attached to your packet.
That would allow the Board of Elections to move forward with the fire company's request to modify the service awards. And special.
This is a
election.
length of service award program that helps us get some volunteer firemen. We have an entirely volunteer fire company. And it's very, very difficult in today's world to attract people to be willing to put in the amount of time and the amount of training that these volunteers all go through. It's their gas, it's their time, and it's to save all of our collective homes, loved ones, etc. So they're asking for the local length of service award program reimbursement to move from $700 to $1,200 per year, and it would be to adopt a resolution so a referendum can be scheduled for Tuesday, September 14th, 2021.
And this is going to public. It's a referendum.
This has to be voted on. Yes, it's a public referendum. It has to be voted on, and it will be held at the fire company, I believe,
Yes.
on September 14th, 2021. Anyone can come there and vote on it.
So moved.
Second.
Who made the motion, Mike?
DeGatti.
DeGatti, I'm sorry.
Mike.
You have to recuse.
And I have to
No.
recuse myself
Okay.
because I'm a fireman. Yep.
All right. So motion by Tom DeGatti, second by Pete Marston. Any further discussion on this? Roll call.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Madigan.
Recused.
Baney.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 12 from the town attorney, Peter Godfrey. This is the increase in improvement of facilities of the town of Grand Island Consolidated Water District for the water plant clear well rehabilitation. It's job number M-212-2021. We're going to entertain a motion to set a public hearing on this for August 2nd at 8:00 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tom DeGatti, second by Mike Madigan. Any discussion on that? Just want to let everyone know we had a failure in our 1 million gallon clear well at the water treatment plant. And we are going to hold a public hearing for the proposed bonding authorization, issuance of serial bonds in the amount of $550,000 for the necessary repairs to that facility. Roll call.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Baney.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. From the Department of Engineering and Water Resources, Robert H. Wessel, item number 13, request authorization to advertise for bids for the water plant clear well rehabilitation. Same job number. And he's asking that the bids on Friday, and well, we haven't even had the public hearing.
Right.
Isn't this a little premature for the bonds?
We don't have to.
Advertise for
award it.
bids.
We can still bid it.
Okay. Okay, all right, very good.
Right.
Understood.
Well, if we have the public hearing at the next meeting,
Right,
then Wednesday, August 11th is when they would
is
open.
afterwards, yes.
Yeah, so
Right.
I think you're okay.
Okay. That's Peter confirmed. All right, so advertise on Friday, July 23rd and receive bids on Wednesday, August 11th, 10:00 AM local time.
So moved.
Motion by Tom DeGatti.
Second.
Second by Pete Marston. Any further discussion? Roll call.
DeGatti.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Baney.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 14 from the town accountant Pamela Barton, budget amendment. The town received an insurance recovery check in the amount of $6,983 for damage to one of the police vehicles. So our accountant is asking for an increase in revenue to the general insurance recovery fund for $6,983 and an increase in appropriations to the general fund for police repair and maintenance of vehicles of $6,983. Entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion by Mike Madigan,
Second.
second by Tom Nagati. On the question,
It was Marston.
roll call.
Is it Marston or
I
Dugai?
said it too. We both
Oh,
said it.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
did you?
Madigan,
Aye.
Marston,
Aye.
Bainey,
Hi.
DeGati,
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye.
Thought he was gonna answer for me.
From the Code Enforcement Office, item number 15. The first one they have is a special use permit renewal from Gail Villani, 5395 East River Road, keeping of one agricultural animal. The property has been inspected. It remains unchanged. I'll entertain a motion to approve this renewal of the special use permit.
So moved.
Motion by Pete Marson, second by Mike Madigan.
Just a quick discussion. It was brought to my attention. It just says one agricultural animal and a person from the public asked, why can't they list what the animal is, just so they know what
Yeah,
the special use is? Does anyone know what the animal is?
not.
Okay.
I believe it's. a
Could we ask code enforcement or whoever is in charge of this to,
Sure, it's zoning, but yeah.
yeah,
Code
can ask
enforcement, yeah.
would it be zoning?
Well, it's really code enforcement, so
Okay,
code enforcement's under zoning too.
I'm gonna stick
Zoning is
that
under
as a
code
horse,
enforcement.
yeah.
but, yeah.
Mike, I believe the original application was for a horse,
Was it? Okay.
but that's a while. It's been a while, but that was, I believe that
That was
she
when
was
the denial
approved for.
was.
Just so the public knows what the,
No, that was
Animal
just the
is-
address of the permit, though.
I'll
The app-
shoot an email out
It's
to them.
5395 East River, right?
Okay.
It's a renewal. Yeah.
Roll call.
Marston.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Bainey.
Hi.
DeGati.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 2 is a special use permit renewal for the Sandy Beach Yacht Club at 1851 Winter Road for their parking lot. The property has been inspected. It remains unchanged. I'll entertain a motion to approve the special use permit renewal.
So moved.
Motion by Jen Baney,
Second.
second by Tom Nagati. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Bainey.
Hi.
DeGati.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 3 from code enforcement is a special use permit application for Allison Gracie at 4776 East River Road, a home occupation, which is acupuncture. And I'll entertain a motion to set a public hearing and refer this to the planning board. So set a public hearing for August 2nd at 8:00 PM.
So moved.
Motion by Mike Madigan,
Second.
second by Pete Marston,
And refer to the planning board, correct?
and refer to the planning board, yes. Any discussion? Roll call.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Bainey.
Hi.
DeGati.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Item number 16, communications in general from the Economic Development Advisory Board, a request to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement for market analysis. They recommend that the town enter into a contract with Vessel Group for market analysis to Grand Island. It's a grant from New York State will pay 50% of the contract fee, which is quoted at $25,000. I believe they have 15,000 in their budget. Is that correct?
20.
What?
Talking myself.
Oh, do they have, how much do they have in their current budget, do you know?
They carried 10,000 last year
I was gonna say.
and they didn't use anything this year.
They didn't use anything, so they got 25,000.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
It's
grant,
just- There's enough money in their budget to handle. is all I'm
and the
saying.
grant also cuts.
The
that.
grant pays half of the $25,000.
Correct.
So,
Well, we have to pay that out first and get reimbursed, or will they?
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to lay the money out. So move.
Authorize the supervisors, motion by Pete Marston,
Second.
second by Jen Baney. Any further discussion on this? Roll call.
Marston.
Aye.
Bainey.
Hi.
Madigan.
Aye.
DeGati.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Report of the audit committee, Jen.
Make a motion to pay the following amounts from the following accounts. Hopefully you have the slightly amended version. General fund, $48,931.91. Highway fund, $27,384.13. Sewer fund, $27,378.80. Water fund, $13,271.25. Capital fund, $110,420.16. Your amended grand total is $227,386.25.
Second.
Motion by Jen Baney, second by Tom DeGotti. Any discussion? Roll call.
Baney,
Aye.
DeGotti.
Aye.
Madigan.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Under unfinished business, item number 19, a special use permit application from Donald Darnley at 948 Legion Drive. He's requesting a permit for a federal firearms license from the owner's residence. There is correspondence from the planning board. Mr. Darnley appeared at the July 12th planning board meeting, requested a special use permit for federal firearms license from his residence. He would like to run the business for himself, his family, his friends. He explained to buy, sell, and buy or sell guns and ammo. You have to go through a person with a federal firearms license. There are different levels for this license. His license is for sale. New York State has the same requirements. Everything is recorded. He has to report each month what he sold and what he purchased. As part of the special use permit yearly renewal, his records would be part of the inspection. He will not advertise, will not have a need for parking. He does not want to sell on the internet. He will not have an info inventory. He would purchase, then resell. There will be no firing of weapons. He fits the requirements listed under the definition of a home occupation. It was recommended by Starzinski and seconded by Laird to recommend approval. The residents be approved, and it was unanimously approved. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the special use permit application for Don Darnley at 948 Legion Drive.
So moved.
Motion by Mike Madigan,
Second.
second by Tom DeGotti. On the question. Roll call.
Madigan.
Aye.
DeGotti.
Aye.
Baney.
Aye.
Marston.
Aye.
Whitney.
Aye. Brings us, item number 20 is public comments. Anyone wishing to speak on anything, whether it was on the agenda or not, is able to come up to the microphone. Please state your name. Please keep the comments to 3 minutes or less.
Good afternoon, good evening, I should say. My wife Debbie, she just wanted to come stand by me. First, let me take.
Please state your name.
Tom Jelski.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Let me first say, I know it's part of my 3 minutes. I thought it was 5, but let me just say this. Both of us are lifelong Islanders, and everything you guys do for all of us, every one of you, means an awful lot. The time you guys put in is just, I've been to boards in the past before this board, and I appreciate what you guys try to do for Grand Island. It means an awful lot to us. We are here to talk about River Oaks Marina. Yes. River Oaks Marina, as I understand, well, let me first say, I also want to thank the code enforcement officers that were there this past week. And I appreciate them going out there, taking some concerns at heart. And from the way I understand, came away with, before they were asked to leave, I believe the cops were called on them. And I wonder if you got something to hide, generally you call the cops. So, but I do thank the town for sending them, whoever that involved, I appreciate it greatly. Let me do say, in my time, I'm going to kick it here, but I'm here because of Raymond Gomez. Raymond Gomez was my uncle I never met. And when I say that, is that Raymond Gomez drowned in front of my mother much before my life when they were young. My mother held that for the rest of her life. And to her dying day, it broke her heart. I was a member of River Oaks for 13 years. In that 13 years, I have seen things that I consider extremely dangerous to the health being of anybody who is there. Both danger as far as, and I'll get into that in a second, and also the health. Let me just start by saying, first off, I understand, and I paid for premium parking to face the East River Road, and I had the perfect view of watching that particular wall that I know the town isn't totally liable for, basically falling in the last 5 years. That being said, I did call the Army Corps. I did receive knowledge as they give a permit 1989 or 87 for that wall. They did say wood is only good for 25 years. That being said, the problem what's happening now is that there's a sinkhole just before on the land, which is part of Grand Island. That sinkhole is getting huge. The dirt with all this rain, and I hope none of you guys had basement issues like some that I've heard about. That land can fall into that water. I'm not a small guy. I stand there, I can slip right into that thing. If it gives way, you're talking about a catastrophic issue that could possibly happen, and I can see it happening. Because I'm short on time, I'll jump ahead to my major issue is the docks themselves that I hope the town has in consideration. When you go ahead and you walk on the main dock, you'll notice on my dock E and most other main docks, they're held up by chains. I know, Mr. Supervisor, you're an engineer. 40 years basically of thin metal underneath wood that's never been replaced tends to wear out. It's being held up by come-alongs. When you walk out on the finger, 2 boats are allowed to park up against a finger. If I walk out and Mr. Marston and we walk out onto a finger, we are going to be in water up to our knees. There's wind, there's danger. People have any kind of electrical link from radios to pom-pom trees to anything you can imagine in this wind. I do not want to be in the water or have anybody else in the water or have little kids following me in the water when there's a possibility of electrocution and many other grave issues. How long before a little child is 3 years old, we're paying attention to our boat, slips into the water and we don't even know it. It's not just my marine, not just my slip, not just my area. I paid to get the floats. Each float, they're supposed to be a 300 finger. Most docks have 1 if they're lucky. That's why it sinks. I paid myself to get my floats put in, so I did not sink. I also paid extra to make sure the wood around my slips was sturdy enough for me to be able to hop off my boat and do it. Never reimbursed, never offered to reimburse. It meant that much to me that nobody get hurt that I bring out to those boats. I'll go ahead, 'cause I know time is short. The bathrooms. I know many of you know the bathrooms and the situations there. The bathrooms are under ground level. They have a pump that's supposed to work that pumps it up into the system that is the way it's supposed to be. That is not what gets done. There's a hose hidden underneath the ground. You guys all know there's been pictures taken, and I know there's been many people that have come this season to complain about that and many other issues. What's happening is he's taking the hose, putting it into his toilet system and pumping into a system he's not supposed to, that you guys are able to find him on. My worrisome in that is that you see little kids, you see adults, they're going to the bathroom in the marina. What I mean by in the marina, I mean in the water, because the bathrooms never get open till June or July or till the owner knows that someone came and squealed to the town and he hurries up and tries to get one set up nice so that when whoever goes down, they feel like, oh, everything's great. Meanwhile, you see adults and kids who can't hold it, that those doors are locked most of the time. And if we don't get them, it's 13 years now, maybe by July, mid-July, if we're lucky, we'll get to use them occasionally, especially if there's an event going on. It embarrasses me to see people women having to go off the side of their boat or jump in the water to do what they have to do. It is unsanitary, it's unhealthy, and it's dangerous. The thought of being electrocuted is dangerous. The thought of losing my pet or my child in the water is dangerous. I'm not here for any other reason than my uncle. I'm not at the marina anymore. I simply would like, and I would love, Mr. Supervisor, to have the town be allowed to go down there. Have you go down there with me, because the group in the back of the room is a very tiny group of the amount of people that have had enough. I'm trying to keep most of them from saying anything because I know you want to get out of here. And I'm just looking at it as.
You have a basement to empty.
And dinner to eat.
Yes, I would love, and I think what everybody would love is for it actually to get really truly inspected for the first time in a long time. And if the board goes, look, folks,
We'll have to just confirm with legal that what our abilities are with respect to that.
and I totally understand that. Again, I would just ask, I know you guys have been there, I know you've been kicked out. I would just ask, that's what we as a group, a large group, and most of them will stay anonymous for now because they will be kicked out if it becomes public.
Heard that.
So I'm willing to put my name. I did it with the Army Corps, Coast Guard, DEC. I can keep going. It means enough to me to keep this island that I grew up on safe and healthy. And I will leave you all at that. I'll just once again thank you for listening to me, and anything you can do to make that place better as far as what I've mentioned, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you
Appreciate
all.
your time.
and have a
Thank you.
great
Thank
night.
you.
Thanks, Tom.
Hello, Edward McCabe. I was also a boater at River Oaks. To echo what Tom was saying, about a month and a half ago, I called the code enforcement officer here in Grand Island. He was not aware, made him aware of how the human feces is pumped out of the well that's on the property of River Oaks and up the hill, and made him aware of where the hose is hidden and the smells that come from it that he does on a regular basis every year. And like Mr. Jelski was saying, he has to do that in order to get the waste up the hill. And he tries to keep the bathrooms closed as long as he can into the boating season, like you said, June, so that he doesn't have to pump it often. And it's disgusting. I'm a 28-year veteran in the Coast Guard, achieved the rank of warrant officer. I have an expectation that people live up to an honor and a code, uniform code of military justice, people being held accountable for their actions. Law-abiding citizens, I have been for my entire life, 51 years now, and I don't see any accountability for him. He will hold you accountable to a standard that he will just arbitrarily make up. And I appreciate all your time, ladies and gentlemen, but it's very disturbing for me that this has gone on because I'd been there for 7 years, hoping and seeing sheriffs, seeing other uniformed members that were there. And I always had this hope after a few other phone calls that I've made over the years that something would be done, and nothing's ever different. It has been circumstances where my wife and I are the ones that are cleaning the human feces off of the floor of the bathroom because nobody else was willing to go in there and take care of it. Being in the military and then also working in the airline industry, I know accidents happen, but this is not an accident. The docks, they speak for themselves. Rotted fingers, like Mr. Jelsi was mentioning, actually breaking off during winds. Boats flying through the marina. People can't get onto docks and all this stuff and injuring themselves, either rusty screws in your feet to rotting boards that people are falling through. There has to be somebody has to be holding to a standard, hold this business to a standard. It's supposed to be a respectable business. And I'm not seeing being held to a standard, even at a minimum, and I'm requesting that somebody hold River Oaks accountable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Brian Kaiser. I'm sure that most people here know me. Anyway, I had just a quick comment about the situation at River Oaks and maybe one other quick unrelated comment. But I made a call to the town after visiting River Oaks back in about the middle of June. I was on my own boat, private boat, visiting River Oaks. I was there to pick up some of the slip holders and take them over to the canal for the evening. And I stopped in I wanted to use the bathroom and was told, the bathrooms aren't working. I said, what do you mean the bathrooms aren't working? I said, somebody must have a key. They said, no, the water's off in the bathrooms. And I said, wow. And there were like people like Ed and some of the different people that don't live on the island, and they didn't know what recourse they could have within the town or what agency to call to have somebody look into why the bathrooms weren't working at a facility like that. So I called the town building department the following Monday and just reported the situation and said, you know, they don't have any water in their working bathrooms at a facility like that. Sometimes there's literally hundreds of people there in a weekend, and there's people peeing in the water and whatever. And I just mentioned it to them, and I said, just look into it. And the only thing that I said at the end was, I said, I'd appreciate a follow-up call, after you go down and, check it out. Just let me know, what, if anything, they can do to remedy the situation. So I could at least let the people at River Oaks know that, maybe there's some help on the way, and didn't get a call back. That's about all I wanted to say on that topic. One other thing that I wanted to say while I was here tonight was Dick Crawford and I had a discussion, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago about Ransom Road. And he said, yeah, we're going to try to get Ransom Road paved in sometime in the near future. He said that that year, I think just a year before, they did Alt Boulevard. And I'm thinking, Alt Boulevard. I go, is there much traffic on Alt Boulevard? So why would they pave Alt Boulevard before Ransom? So one day I did my own little independent informal traffic study. I went down there on a weekday at 7:30 in the morning and sat in Alt Boulevard to see how much traffic was down there. And in 15 minutes, there was 3 cars. I sat out on the end of my driveway at the end of Ransom at the same time period, same time in the morning, weekday. There's like 33 cars in the same 15 minutes. And I go, well, that's some quick math. That's 11 times as many cars going down Ransom as Alt Boulevard in the same time frame. I just kind of wondered why, or who made the decision to pave Alt Boulevard before Ransom Road. But I was out talking to my neighbors, Joe Nab. I think a lot of people probably know the Nabs, Joe and Sandy Nab, and Joe and I were talking about the road, and we were saying, yeah, the town was out and they did some spot paving on the road again. I said, well, I thought this was the year that they were finally going to pave the end of Ransom Road. Sandy goes, yeah, apparently not, because they're starting to do spot paving on it again. I said, well, let me make a call and find out, what the current status is. So I tried to reach Dick, and he was out. And then I called your office on Friday, left a message. You were out as well, but I left a message for, I said, well, have John give me a shout back on Monday, and just, I'd like to get an update so I could tell some of the neighbors if there's a plan
I
in
apologize,
place.
Brian. I've been trying to deal with a basement that was flooded over the weekend. So
Yeah, that's all right. But, we're residents are down there at the end. We have to travel the whole length of that road every day, and it's been pretty well shot for 5 years now. I mean, it's well overdue. Is there a plan in place to get that done? Or?
I'll comment when you're done.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
But that's all.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Dick Crawford. So
hold it, who are you?
Richard Crawford,
But what do you do?
Town Highway Superintendent,
There you go.
Grand Island, New York.
Just so that they know who you are.
Thanks, Brian. Brian and I share the same birthday. We both turned 65 this year, so happy belated to you.
Happy birthday.
So Alt Boulevard was in worse shape.
He looks a lot younger.
He does. He's got less stress in his life. So Alt Boulevard, the stretch between Love Road and Fix, was in worse shape than Ransom. And actually, it's ironic that you're asking about it today, because our engineering department just finished surveying Ransom Road, because we are going to be putting together an application for that road to get done. But it has to be done in a different fashion than most of the roads we do, because it needs to be completely rebuilt with new shoulders, new drainage, and then a new top. So when we talked a year and a half ago or whatever it was, and I mentioned that, yeah, I finally squirreled away enough money to do alt. And we have a certain set amount of money that we use every year to do roads. And there's a lot of different preventative maintenance applications that we do on the roads. We spend between $650 and almost $1 million every year on treating the roads and keeping them in as best shape as that we can. So we're hopeful that we will be putting together an application in the next month to apply for some grant money and all this infrastructure money that's coming forward to be able to rebuild Ransom Road like the other half is. Well, there's federal money. It's not really flowing yet, and we don't know how much of that we're going to even be able to get. It's our hope that we will be able to get some to do that. And I have been talking with Jen Bainey, who's my liaison from the town board for the last 2 years, about a couple different applications that we are going to go after to get some federal, state, whatever monies to try to help do that, to help pay for that. So the plan is active. It's unfortunate in government, everything doesn't happen when we want it to, but we're actively pursuing that. As I said, it's kind of ironic that you bring it up tonight, because I just got an email this afternoon from the engineer's office asking me what other roads I would like surveyed so that we can go after additional monies to have that done. Because there's 3 or 4 roads on Grand Island right now that need to be rebuilt. That's excluding all the county roads that are in.
Take your past your 3
bad
minutes.
shape. Okay. If anybody has any questions, I'll be here all evening.
Get the hook.
Is there anyone else that would like to please come forward?
Hi, I'm Amanda Josie. This is my husband, Tom. We have 2 items, one of which we just want to echo my father-in-law's sentiments to the River Oaks Marina. I have been with part of this family, I would say, my father-in-law will say 30 years, but I'm not 30 yet. So I've been with them at least 11. And in those 11 years, we've been members of that marina, both of which I've injured myself twice on the wood there, thankfully minor, but who's to say that that couldn't have been major. My husband has fallen through a piece of wood where we went to Home Depot and bought a piece of wood and replaced it on our own measure because we knew it wouldn't get done. So it is, I work at a hospital. I see these injuries. I'm worried that this is going to be a serious problem one day. And we have asked years and years and years that something gets done and nothing has. So we're coming to you, begging you. And I know several members who are there who will not come because they are terrified to lose their spot. Because face it, there's not enough spaces for these boats, especially boats of our size. We can't find a slip because there aren't any. And the place where we were on River Oaks was ideal for us, being island residents, knowing that we could be there within 5 minutes, get on our boat and go. Now we're having to go over the bridge to get onto our boat. So I'm just really hope that you guys will kind of look into that. I'm sure there are more people who'll be willing to step up once they know that they're not going to be risking their money and their spots at the River Oaks Marina. I don't know if anything else you wanted to say.
Yeah, the only issue that I wanted to echo or add to, obviously you guys heard a lot. I've had a jet ski slip down there before I met her, about 12 years. So I personally witnessed the place deteriorate over the last decade. One of the issues that I've had, I put my foot right through one of those boards. There was a new location for our boat. I was helping my parents dock it for the first time. I didn't realize the condition of that current finger. And in helping them land the boat, I did put my foot right through it. Luckily, there was a piece of metal rung underneath. My foot caught that, so I didn't get too injured besides a couple of knee scrapes and bruises. The second thing is last couple of years, there've been a couple additional pets down there roaming free. I have 2 dogs at home, love them. They're great boys. Not all dogs are great boys. There's a particular 2 or 3. I literally have to beg them to pass on to the dock. They growl at me, huff. I really thought I was gonna get bit one of those days. I shouldn't have to walk down there begging to get to my jet ski with the dogs and crap in the way. So that's.
And the other item I had is we are residents of Colonial Drive, and I'm sure as many of you have dealt with water this week, we were in thigh-high water in our street. Thankfully, my husband has done ample work on trying to keep our basement dry, which it is not. So, I'm sure we're not the only ones, but something has got to be done about that sewer. It's not just, this was twice in this month that we've had this. The poor woman across the street, Judy, she's an old woman, widowed, and we're out there trying to help her and make sure that her basement is staying dry. We were, trying to trek people out of the water, push cars out of the water. I mean, it was just chaos. I have videos that, my father-in-law could not believe what I was sending him. We were literally thigh high in water. It was to our back patio. My back patio, I was ankle high in water. Our sunroom is probably going to have to be ripped out and replaced just from water. Our house was abandoned, so we flipped it and tried to give it back life. I know we were trying to bring life back. We're island residents. We both were born and raised here, so we love being on the island. But if we would have known probably that our street was going to flood twice in a month at this rate, I don't think we would have bought that property. So if something is going to be done about sewers, we would hopefully that Colonial's looked at.
I want to add to this real quick. So on our particular street, unfortunately, my house is probably on the lowest end of the street. There's really two main drains. I know the town took a lot of grief for all that water that came. I know it's not your guys' fault. I was actually happy the town at least came, put cones up, so nobody drove through it.
Which
They
many
actually,
people did.
yeah, some still did. And they at least, I think, tried to clear out the drain. I don't know if there was a capacity issue. If it is, we'll have to deal with it. It's okay. I don't know if the gray covers are too thin, leaves are blocking it. I tried going out there, putting a stick through it to open it up. I don't know, the town came, did something, eventually it cleared through. So I don't know if you guys just take a peek at it. The previous rainstorm about 2 weeks ago, we had a similar issue, about 6 inches of water. I was up to my upper knee with water in the street there. They did back up, flooded our sunroom. I got videos of it pouring in my basement. Mitigated it all, did my best, but if there's a way to it wouldn't have happened if the street would have drained. So if you guys just take a look, that'd be great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, Jen Bustier, East River. I'm the resident that asked about the animal in the ag. The thing, I sit on the Ag and Markets Advisory Board, and we're looking through all of that, and we're relooking at zoning, and we're trying to look at the issues with the farmers and, where ag is appropriate, or it's not. Anyway, so we've been trying to keep an eye on everything that's coming through the town. And my question was that you guys are approved. I'm trying to learn it all myself on certain levels with the zoning deeper than I knew before. Anyways, you guys approved a special permit, which I know is from 94. But my question is trying to do our due diligence to see what is coming in and out of the town. How do we know what you guys approved for or what the animal was? So I was asking, maybe there's something Patty or whoever that is, we could add that into what's going there. Because I did look up the thing, and it's interesting. It's a horse. Because if it is a horse, that's East River. Just a Google search. I have no idea, but on a Google search, that's a house with the river behind them. So I don't know between Sandy Beach and Stony Point and there if a horse could be next to the river. So that's why I'm questioning it even more and bringing it up again. So just on a Google search, if we could look at that.
Yeah, I think it's actually on the other side. There's a nice, beautiful stable. over
Yeah,
there.
I did a Google, that was it.
Right.
But for further, maybe that's something, just because it was approved, we could put it animals as eggs and market now that you have an advisory board is looking at that. And thank you guys so much for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your efforts.
Administrations come to and fro or whatnot, but I appreciate you guys following this out through with me. I know it's across the water, as I tell all the time to people that I work with that, often the island is amazing, but we often are on the other side of the water and we forget about what's on the other side. But I'm trying to always bring Grand Island into the conversation and get them to come over here. But, we did it for especially the residents on East River Road there and the river that we all love so much. So we're going to continue, keep going, but I appreciate the acknowledgement, Jackie and I with CSR. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on any items whatsoever, not even that gender related or anything? Okay. From the town board, Mike Madigan.
Other than the last week and this week, or whenever it was, the last 15 days, there's been two big rain events, both of them atypical. Both of them actually resulted in half of the driveway right out front being underwater. It looked like a lake out here.
We had three.
What's that?
Or three.
Were there 3 different
Three
events?
events.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, and then yesterday.
They all run together. It just wouldn't stop raining. I was building an ark in the backyard, in fact, so.
Where'd you get
Yeah,
the
so I mean, it was, yeah, really. Just. I'll put it on my special use permit.
Yeah.
But it's just been incredible. I think that I'm certain this has been record amount of rain. It's just unbelievable the amount of rain, so. But recognize a lot of people had issues. In fact, a number of people here had issues, so. That's it.
Thank you, Pete.
Just to kind of echo what Mike said, we've had an enormous amount of rain, and the only way to truly get around it is to build a dome over Grand Island. That is not probably going to work out. But I would like to thank all the town employees. They really, really worked hard, especially this past Saturday, the sewer department, the highway department, the water department. Even our engineering was in here making sure that this building stayed secure and didn't get flooded. Enormous amount of work done by our town people. And I just want to thank them all for going the extra mile for everybody.
Thank you. Jen Baney.
Mr. Kaiser, just to echo what Dick said, all we do is talk about ransom all the time. It's funny, I started a new primary care physician like a year ago. And at the end of my appointment, he's like, so I live on the other end of Ransom Road. Can we talk about that? So, I mean, I can't escape it anywhere I go. You guys are relentless in a good way, because I am, having driven it, it's very concerning. So, because a project of this magnitude, because of how long it will be, does have to be pursued through a partial grant, which makes it so we can't always pursue it exactly when we want to, but better to do the grant application correctly with the engineering studies and trying to get there. But yeah, I can testify the fact that during our capital plan meetings and funding meetings, that's the first road we're talking about. Yeah, so, well, don't tell him me, tell him Dick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's on the radar.
Joe Nab, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, now 2 politicians have confirmed it for you, which may equate to like 1 normal person. I'm not sure, but
I'll handle Joe and Sandy. Don't worry about it.
Tell them a bit.
so next to the residents on Colonial, we've never had water in our basement other than like if I let the sink overflow because a sock gets stuck in the drain or something, just a little bit. 2 weeks ago with the first storms, Tuesday and Thursday, we were a mess. My husband did some upgrades and changes for this time and we made it internally, but outside I wouldn't have been able to leave my house if I would have wanted to. It was a waterfall. Our property is unique, but it was a mess. You want to know the interesting thing? You're picturing us probably having sewers. We're on septic. So when they call this an unprecedented event, and I am so sick. No, we're on septic. So you have that with sewers. I'm septic, self-reliant, doing my own thing, managing our own. I hate the word unprecedented after last year because it became like the word of the year. Everyone just said it for everything, but what we experienced was truly unprecedented. That said, an employee said to me, and I want to talk to John about it, but we haven't had a chance because he's bailing out his basement like half the island is. I do think following the suggestion of an employee, we'll do our due diligence on your end. Residents have contacted and asked us, how can we do better on our end? Because this is when everything comes up and people don't know, what to buy or what they need. So as much as it depends on us, if we can provide using the resources we have, some educational programming, a seminar at the community center that we could also stream online so people know how to better equip their houses for heavy rains. It's on everyone's mind now, and I don't want to lose that interest right now. So I'm going to talk with John. He has a lot of expertise in that area and see, similar to what we've done at the Golden Age Center for different topics. Let's see what we can do to let residents know the best way they can do everything on their end, as we as a town try to do the best on our end to make sure when these things happen, you're not hit as hard, but complete.
It's happened twice in a month where our street is flooded to the knees. It can happen again. And like I said, the woman who lives across the street lived in that house for 45 years, and she has seen this happen before. But that was before she was a widow, and in the age that she's in. So
Yeah.
people around us who
we'll look. Yeah.
Right.
We'll look into it from our end too, for sure. And the last thing, believe it or not, is a good thing. I've been relentless about it, but National Night Out is coming up. It's on Tuesday, August 3rd. Tom's helping with it. We've got a great committee this year. Being the 20th year of the anniversary of 9/11, I think it's very timely and wonderful that we're honoring our first responders at this year's National Night Out. The whole purpose, if you're not familiar with it, is just to bring the community and our first responders together to build relationships, a chance to meet other people in the community. We'll have food, we'll have music. It's here at Town Hall. You can check on the website to find out more about it. But it's really just a wonderful night. And honestly, when looking at what's going on in our country, it's more timely than ever. So we're really excited about it. And if you have more questions about it, you can get in contact with me or Chuck Grunswig, our chair. So 3 things is probably enough. I'm all set.
Tom Bugatti.
I'll be quick. First, it's great having everybody back in here. This is the first time in a long time we've had this many people. Thank you, Jen and Jackie, for all the work you guys did and taking care of the Tonawanda Coke issue and all that you do for our community. I apologize, I'm being rude looking on the phone, but I know somewhere in here, I have a picture of that street flooding from, I used to live at 321, which if you're the house that I suspect you are, is about 4 houses down. And so I know I have pictures of the road pretty wet from before I moved out, but it was unprecedented. It was crazy. We've all have, if we didn't have any problems, I think everybody in here at least knows somebody who did. So we'll look into that. The River Oaks Marina folks, I saw some comments about this on Facebook not long ago that were, I don't think any of them were any of you, but what was said was pretty consistent with what you guys have said, that it's in very rough shape and people are very hesitant to speak out about it because they don't want to lose a slip and have nowhere to go. So, John will work with legal and with code enforcement and see what, if anything, we can do. So thanks for bringing that to our attention. And to the people who left already about the rezoning thing, I apologize. We talked about it in the workshop. It's the way that it's entitled to proceed, but having a special hearing or a public hearing about it, something we don't have a plan for, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But surprisingly, there were a whole bunch of people here to talk about it. So didn't expect that to happen. So thanks everyone. Come out to National Night Out the first week of August. It'll be a good time. There'll be a dunk tank. I know I'll be in there. Dick? No? Christian? John? John was in there with me last time. For what it's worth, we're trying something different this time. We're not going to fill the tank with a fire truck so that the water looks a lot like the stuff that was probably coming out of people's basements the other day.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Clean cold
But
water for the first time.
It should be clean this time around.
It's a sport for you.
Thank you, Tom. I just want to relate a quick story about what great neighbors Grand Island is. Saturday, I wasn't home. My fiance wasn't home. She had Relay for Life. She's the chairman. There's a ditch that runs through my yard. It's not even a creek. In the summertime, it's dry. I mow it. It got probably 6 foot of water and it overcrested the bank. It came up against my house. It was 1.5 feet deep against the back doors of my house, squirting through, filled my basement up. And fortunately, my neighbors bailed my butt out. I wasn't home. I came home. They had sandbags out. They were pumping the water out. And it's just what a truly great community we live in. That's just want to relate that quick story with you. It's very heartwarming for me. Tonight, it was one of the names. It was Dick. Dick is on my street. So tonight, a motion is in order to adjourn this meeting at 9:30 p.m.
So moved.
Motion by Tom Bugatti.
Second.
Second by Mike Madigan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried. Please rise. Tonight, we'll observe a moment of silence in the memory of John Carroll, William Birch, Olive Birch, and Wallace Kowalski,